Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be using Spooky Cupcakes from Pawsome Stamps. And I stamped these guys a little while ago, earlier today. And I think the few hours or so, maybe a little longer, that they had to dry helped a little bit on my ink smearing journey. So there's that. That gold yellow blend, tri-blend, I like to use often for cake, like just anywhere there's cake, like cupcakes or a cake. It's a good like cooked vanilla cake color. And then my witch hats will forever be purple, so I'm using the purple blend on that one. I'll be using the lavender blend on another part in a little bit as well. I'm just trying to be a little slower and more intentional with my coloring and my blending this time. And I did speed this up, but if you see any pauses or breaks or anything, I was checking on the crazy windstorm that we are having currently. And I kept hearing things falling. We're on a bottom floor, but I feel like things were falling on people's back deck above us, maybe. I'm not sure. Lots of noises outside. And then sirens and everything else, because I'm sure there's a lot going on outside. So that's fun. I'm hoping that the lights aren't changing or flickering too much. My last video, I had a lighting problem. My lights are not changing, so I don't know why they appear to be changing in my videos, but it was very strange. They were like flashing in my last video. That alpine green blend, the lightest green is quite a bit distanced from the dark, if that makes sense. But on this, it actually kind of makes it look like it's glowing from the bottom, which is really cool. So I like how that turned out. I really love my tri-blends, in case you aren't aware of that. And I often use them more than my Cupcakes. If you can get your hands on both 24 sets of the tri-blends, they are nib, they're not brush markers, but as long as you're careful with where you're coloring, you shouldn't run into any problems. They're very nice to color with, and as long as you take your time on the blending and everything, it can look really nice. So there's that. I know that Amazon had them, Dick Blick sells them, but aside from that, I'm not really sure. I think Crafter's Companion is who makes Spectrum Noir, but you can't buy them on their website, which makes no sense to me. It never has. But there are different places you can find them. If you have any troubles and you want to purchase them, just comment down below and let me know that you need help. So this one, I was kind of going for like a light cream colored cloth, almost like it was a mummy. I realize now I probably could have just used some sort of Halloween color. It didn't need to be that, but this turned out okay. And then some of the parts peeking through, I used brown, like it was chocolate, like a chocolate cupcake. There were probably a couple Cupcakes I could have reached for like a creamy cloth or material color as well. So this is kind of a little pinky, but that's okay. And then just blending that out a little more. Then I'm going to use the tan shades, and I also use that back on the witch hat cupcake. These are super adorable, and I love them to death, but coloring them, I'm never really sure what to do, because like on the witch one, I don't know what the base is supposed to be. Is it like frosting on frosting with a hat on top, or is it just a very fluffy cupcake with frosting, a little bit of frosting and then a hat? I'm sure that this one here would have looked better as like whipped cream color, but I'm going to go with orange because I want to use Halloween-like colors that stand out for this card. So I'm using the orange blend, which is a very bright orange. I think I do wish that this, the orange tri-blend, the orange blend, because there's a burnt orange blend, which is fine as it is. I like using that for like cats and stuff like that. Like an orange cat is good on. This one, I think I wish it was a little less bright, but it's okay. Or if the lighter color was a little lighter than it is, so that there was more of a difference. This is where I use the lavender tri-blend on this cupcake wrapper. And then just in case, around his eyes, I'm assuming this is like a ghost. Now he's an orange ghost. His eyes and his mouth, I colored around those very carefully to make sure that none of that ink bled out. And here I am coloring in between the black lines to make sure I don't smear anything, but I'm pretty sure it's dry at this point. So I could have colored across them just fine. So because I realize that it's dry, I'm going to color across on the citrus green blend here along the bottom because it looks better than the blend I did with the lavender above it. This one will blend out a little bit nicer. So I guess the trick is to stamp images a few hours before you plan on coloring them in. Because I really like this ink. I do have a Memento Tuxedo Black ink that I went back to, and it wasn't stamping as well. And that one's only alcohol friendly. This, my favorite things, hybrid ink, is alcohol and water, like watercolor friendly. And then I had reached to test out my Lawn Fawn Jet Black, and it had dried up. So there's that. So this is the ink I am dealing with for now, but I think stamping it and letting the images sit out for a few hours seems to work just fine. So I will do that. So you might not see a lot of image stamping in my videos, which is okay. So for this one, I had found this piece of scrap paper that I just keep setting aside into my Halloween scraps, and I keep meaning to use it. So I'm going to use it as a panel on this card, but I wanted, instead of using a whole sheet or strips of black glitter paper, I didn't want to go find it because I don't know where it is. I grabbed this black glitter washi tape that I have, but it's not super sticky. Glitter washi tape tends to be, like it's very heavy, so it has a lot going on. So the sticky part isn't super sticky. So I ran my tape runner along the edges where I knew it was going to be sitting and stuck it down just for extra enforcement. So we have our edges. And then I'm going to trim down the orange piece. One of the edges is uneven as well, so I need to trim off that end. So I'm just going to trim it to 5.5. I should have gone like a 1/2 millimeter longer, and then I just made it a little bit shorter. I line it up with the bottom of my card, but it doesn't quite meet the top, so there's like a little sliver you can see. So here I'm going to use the Happy Halloween sentiment. My orange Happy Halloween tape is on my stamp sleeve because the stamp set sliced it open up there, so I had to bandage it. So I figured I would use a Halloween set. This is my only stamp sleeve stamp set where my insert is orange. I think my white paper was closed up in my hutch and I didn't have anything else, so I used orange cardstock. So this is the only stamp set that has an orange insert, so it just looks out of place, but that's okay. So I've stamped the Happy Halloween. I stamped it twice. It came out nice and crisp, which is why I love this ink, and using my Pressure Pal in the Misty. And you can see that little sliver up at the top. I should have cut the orange a little bit taller, but that's okay. So we are going to lift all 3 of these guys up on foam tape. They're kind of going to create like a little pyramid of cupcakes. So I'm going to make sure that they are fully supported enough. So this one will get 2, and then a little extra piece under the tip of the hat. I love the little droopy hat. I don't know why. It's so cute. I want to make a non-spooky pumpkin card with the pumpkin topped cupcake because it is so cute. I love all of these cupcakes. The spider one kind of freaks me out, but at least he's a goofy looking spider. But I chose these 3 for this card. But I want to make like a pumpkin spice, hay pumpkin, something like that, with the one with the pumpkin on his head because it's so cute. So I'm just kind of layering them like the witch is sitting on top. And then I'm going to use these chipboard stickers from Simple Stories, the Spooky Nights set. And we kind of go through a little bit of trial and error here, so you get to go through this with me. What I should have done was stamp and color and die cut the 3 pieces of candy that come with this stamp set, but I didn't. I didn't want to do more stamping because I didn't do it before and I wanted to have the ink dry and everything. So trying to go with the odd number rule on things, I was trying to make this work and it just wasn't. I did have 5 candy corns, but it just wasn't going to work for me. Luckily, peeling these up did not ruin the orange paper. It only ruined the sticky paper underneath the chipboard, but I can always put glue on something and stick it to something else, so I'm not worried about that. So I decided eventually to go with I think 3 candy corn and 3 stars. So I just needed to make it look a little better laid out. So I'll use the light blue star and then I think leave those candy corns as they are and then use the other light blue star on the other side, and then I think like a light brownish star, kind of looks cupcake frosting-esque. So I was satisfied with that. And then I am using my size 10 Jelly Roll pen to do some very slow and intentional white accents because I normally am not very smooth. I think it's something in my hand. My hand hurts a lot, so sometimes it'll like do something I don't intend it to do, if that makes sense. So I intend on doing a very straight white accent line, and then it does not come out straight at all, or it doesn't follow the line. So I just was trying to go very slow, and I probably added way more than I needed to, but these cupcakes are already comical, so I wasn't worried about making it look silly. I actually liked how all of the accents turned out, and I think it made it look a lot more complete. So sometimes I just like adding a lot of dots instead of lines and dots. You can do whatever you'd like. But I wanted to highlight all of the scallops on the cupcake wrapper so that they would stand out a little bit more. So yeah, that is our card, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye.